Yo guys, what's going on? Robert Warshack here, and while I don't necessarily play Battlegrounds, we had a huge update today that kind of like goes along with all of Hearthstone. There's things that will be implemented that change the way Hearthstone functions with these new Runestone things, but there's also just a forward outlook on Hearthstone's biggest game mode, Battlegrounds. This is with a large quantity of players played. It is the largest game mode that players play right now. A lot of people enjoy Battlegrounds. And again, while I don't play Battlegrounds, this definitely affects me, as this is not a great thing to happen in Battlegrounds. While this update was supposed to highlight a new balance update, there's a lot of new things and the cards that there's in there, and there's the quests, and there's all these things. It is being overshadowed, and if you haven't heard about it, I'm sure Zeddy and Regis and everybody has made their own video on this. This is not, in my opinion, a good thing for the game, and this was going to blow up. Eventually, BGs was gonna get monetized in some way because it's Hearthstone's biggest mode and they can't make money off of it, or they make very little off of it. They've implemented skins over the past couple years. They've implemented different ways to finish your opponents and animations, and they've charged for these, but there's no really, it's not standard Hearthstone where you have to buy packs. There was no tavern pass for this. There was, for their biggest mode, it was not being monetized in the way that they wanted it to be monetized because they need to make money because they're a business, which is understandable, right? If they're going to sit here and support a game mode that has a majority of the players playing and it is not generating enough revenue or even any revenue in comparison to like standard or mercenaries or arena or whatever you have, they're going to try to monetize that. But the way they monetized it and the way they've gone about it, in my opinion, probably not the best way. It's hard to charge players to play the game when it was never paid for to begin with, if that makes sense. So we'll get into it. So having a game that originally cost nothing to play and everybody was at exactly the same kind of advantage, there was no pay to win aspects to it. We've now reached a point where if you do pay money, you are at an advantage of someone who has not paid money, and we'll get into it in a second. But first things first, we're going to talk about Runestones, which is Hearthstone's new currency. As we know, most mobile games or any gacha game or any of that stuff has these sort of other in-game currencies where you spend real-life dollars and you convert it into whatever that in-game currency is, right? So in Hearthstone, we now have Runestone. This is going to take place, again, not only just Battlegrounds, which is why I'm covering this, and it's quite concerning. So we have Runestones, which, for example, I think they mentioned the Runestones are going to be like 100 Runestones is like $1. Right, so like you'll buy $20 worth of Runestones, and that's 2,000 Runestones, right? So the problem with this is I don't know the exact breakdowns of like how much things cost, but what we've seen in other predatory mobile games that do this is that, let's say you want to buy the Mega Bundle, right? The Mega Bundle is normally $80, and that would be 8,000 Runestones, but there is no 8,000 Runestone conversion. You have to buy like either $100 or you have to buy $50. So you have to buy two 50s or one 100, which is, again, I'm not saying that they're going to do this, but we've seen a lot of other predatory games do. So you either get with leftover Runestones or you buy too many Runestones. Whatever the conversion is, you're always left over with either one, spending too much money, or two, you have leftover currency because the conversions weren't correct. Another thing that you can do is that when you convert your real life dollars to these Runestones, is that when you're spending these Runestones on things in the game, is that you don't have an actual dollar amount to them. Your brain sort of, like, you don't convert like, oh, this is only 500 Runestones, I'm just going to buy this thing. But that's $5. But if it were to save $5, you probably maybe wouldn't have spent that, right? So like this whole Runestone to dollar thing kind of takes out money equivalents, and it definitely changes your perception of like how much are things worth. Another thing is, you can't get Runestones any other way than to purchase them with real life money. And then they're changing things with Runestones that only certain things are purchasable with Runestones, right? So I guess, what are Runestones? We should read this and then we'll continue on with our, I don't want to say rant, but we're just discussing it. Again, there was a lot of people that brought up a lot of issues, and it's very sad. Runestones will be replacing real Runestones will be replacing real money purchases for nearly every product in the Hearthstone shop. Some products like pre-purchase bundles, the Hearthstone Tavern Pass, and packs purchasing more than one at a time will be able to purchase with money or Runestones. A few select products, like a few cosmetics, and will remain purchasable with gold. With Runestones, we'll be able to offer additional smaller scale items such as individual Battlegrounds hero skins offered in the shop with this pass. Runestones will be able to bundle various sizes, including quantities to correspond to our better products, like Battleground Seasons Pass. You can buy exactly the quantity needed for the product you can stock up for on or later. No product costs are changing with conversions. All prices are staying the same, just converted to Runestones. So they're not increasing the price of anything, which I guess is good. And they also mentioned that they will have bundles of various sizes, including quantities that correspond to our major products. So theoretically, if you want to buy the mega bundle and it costs $80, you'll buy 8,000 Runestones and it will be equivalent. There'll be no leftover. But for some reason, I have a feeling that this won't necessarily be the case for every product you would like to buy. It's just going to be for some products that they think that you're going to buy, and those products are probably going to be the more expensive ones. So again, as I would like to give the benefit of the doubt, I have a feeling that it won't always work out in every person's best interest as of right now, where you could just spend however much money you feel like, and that's what you get out of it. I'm sure that there is going to be scenarios in which this doesn't work out for the player, which is normally what companies do when they introduce secondary currency systems in replace of real life dollars. Can I earn Runestones in the game? No, there are no plans to earn Runestones in the game. I think this is a mistake, and I think you should be able to earn Runestones in the game. While it may be a slow earn, I still think there should be a way for you to purchase things that you were able to purchase prior without having Runestones, with Runestones earned for free. So now that we've touched the surface of Runestones and we now know the general gist of how they're going to work and what they're going to do, this thing with Battlegrounds is that before Battlegrounds, you used to be able to spend gold, which you could get in the game for free while just playing Hearthstone. You could use gold to buy like the Battlegrounds Tavern Pass, which allowed you to basically progress and have more characters to pick from in Battlegrounds. Again, I don't play Battlegrounds, but know the gist of how it's played, right? So now they're implementing a Battlegrounds Season Pass. So now we're going to have the Standard Pass, which already costs $20, plus all the packs that we have to buy. We now have to do a Battlegrounds Season Pass, which I'm assuming is going to be another $20 or 2,000 Runestones or whatever it's going to be. And this now pass is going to include purchasing the season pass will now immediately unlock the option to choose from 2 additional heroes at the start of each game. So we've moved from a currency which we could get for free, which was gold, which we could buy the ability to pick 2 additional heroes at the start of each game in Battleground, meaning it was free to play. Any player could play the game, get gold, and unlock this. We're moving now to a system which we have to spend real life money to buy Runestones, to then buy this battle pass so you can have an advantage over those who have not done this. And again, while it is understandable that Hearthstone or Blizzard wants to make money off of the most popular game mode that they're not making enough money off of, is this the correct decision? I do not think that being able to buy something with real life money and having no other way to get it, and then giving that player a significant advantage over another player who has chosen not to do this is a good way to go about it, because Battlegrounds was Hearthstone's best free-to-play model. Any player could go in there and have just as much an advantage as any other player in there. And now this is not the case. And for those of you who may not think like 2 additional heroes at the start of each game, is that a big deal? Yes. So if let's say there's 100 heroes in the game, right? And 1/3 of them are really good, and then another third is tier 2 and another third is tier 3, and you're only shown 2 heroes at a time, there's a good chance that you may not get a very good hero or a hero that is like under your play style that you enjoy. But then you have another hero or another player who has spent money, and they now have the option between 4 heroes instead of 2. That's significantly more. That's twice as many heroes to pick from to get a decent hero to play with that game that either, again, is better or just fits your play style. And again, this can only be attainable by spending real life money to buy Runestones, which I do not think this is a good idea, considering Hearthstone's biggest format was Battlegrounds. A lot of people played it because it's free, and now it's no longer free. So a lot of players won't play it anymore, and that's just bad. Granted, I understand that Hearthstone needs to make money. Again, we've said that they're a business. Making money is part of the process, but there are different ways to go about this than having one of your modes, which was the most popular for being free to play. That was the core of it. That was the bread and butter of Battlegrounds, was it was free to play. Every player had a chance. Everybody was on equal footing. Now they've taken that away from that particular mode. Will it stay the top mode? Will a lot of players still continue to play it, even though there is now a $20 price tag basically every single season? I don't know. Well, we'll see. They say it's for the longevity of Battlegrounds to keep producing content for it. I simply think it's because they know they can do it and they'll make money from it. Again, I don't play the game mode, so it doesn't really affect me at all. But as a Hearthstone player in general, and I enjoy anybody who enjoys Hearthstone, like regardless of what game mode you play, this does pop up on my radar as something that will definitely get people up in arms. Whether they quit, whether you suck it up and pay the price, I don't know. But this is a massive change and a very, very big change in direction of the philosophy of how the game mode was supposed to be, first of all, played, and then just the fundamentals of like what it stood for the game, that is. So I guess a couple decent side notes of this is the normal standard, ladder, just if you play Hearthstone, not Battlegrounds, that normal Tavern Pass or Battle Pass that we bought for standard normally contained Battleground skins and other Battleground equivalent things. We don't have to have that anymore. So when we spend $20 to buy our standard Battle Pass for just playing Hearthstone, hopefully we don't have any more Battleground skins because we don't play that format because it's not that same Battle Pass. So hopefully Battlegrounds Battle Pass will have Battlegrounds things, and Standard Battle Pass will have standard things, which is hopefully how it's done. But I have a feeling that in the first renditions of these Battle Passes, that will be looked over as well. And Battlegrounds passes will have standard things, and standard Battle Passes will still have Battlegrounds things. Not sure why that'll be the case, but I can promise you, I have a feeling that somehow will be looked over, even though I don't see why it would be the case. So some frequently asked questions now that we've covered basically everything that I want to cover, and I'm pretty depressed. Is there anything that I can use my gold for in Battlegrounds? No, there are no plans to use gold in Battlegrounds anyway. Players who don't want to spend real money on Runestones will still be able to enjoy the free rewards from the Battlegrounds house. So for all the gold that you accumulate while playing Battlegrounds, there's nothing you can use for that. You just, all the gold that you used to make, that you used to be able to spend and get things in Battlegrounds for, like, I don't know, picking heroes that make you have a higher chance of winning. Yeah, that doesn't work anymore. I used to be able to get perks with gold, which is what we just covered. Why do I need to pay now? We want Battlegrounds to be played and loved for years to come. This will allow us to continue to support and make content for the growing Battlegrounds community. Though ability to choose from among 4 heroes at the beginning of a match is changing to a paid-only feature, all players can still play Battlegrounds for free. We're committed to maintaining hero and gameplay balance, so the choice from 4 heroes is about optimally than power. This is I don't know if this is a joke or who wrote this, but at any point in time, any game that's ever existed, there's never been full balance. So whether you're playing League of Legends, TFT, Hearthstone, Overwatch, there is always imbalance. That's what makes good things good and bad things bad. So saying that this will have no effect and that they're just gonna fix all balancing, so even if you have 4 heroes to pick from or 2 heroes to pick from, and then that they're equal to each other. If they were equal to each other, then why would you pick one or the other? They're obviously not equal because you pay for one and get one, and then the other one you don't pay for and you get that. Those are 2 different things. So obviously the one where you get to pick more and you have a higher chance of picking the better thing is gonna be better, and that costs $20. So I don't know how you could write this and be like it's kind of like a joke. Like, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep reading. Additionally, as part of these changes, we're giving away more free Battlegrounds content than ever before. It should be free. You should be, I mean, if you're going to give more than ever before, maybe why don't you give away the 2 free heroes? If the Battle Pass only contains skins and like the strikes or animations or like card art or whatever it is, this wouldn't be a conversation. But the conversation is you're paying to have a higher advantage to get a better thing than other players who didn't pay. And that's what your game mode was revolved around, was everybody didn't have to pay and everybody was equal. In standard mode, that's not the case. We know this, but in Battlegrounds, it was different, and now it's not. Advanced stats and base emotes are now available to all players. We've dissolved early hero access to allow all players with new heroes on patch day, and there are several other free rewards on the Battlegrounds track. So that's actually a couple good sentences. So now every person who plays has equal chance to get new heroes and discover them when they play in a game. Before it was only those who had spent gold to unlock that privilege, but the gold again was free and it was able to be gotten by just playing the game. But now any player, regardless of spending gold or not, will have equal chance to get those new player or new hero access. But regardless, this still is completely overshadowed by these new things they've implemented into the game. And I think that basically wraps up everything that I want to cover. I'm sure you guys have a lot to say about this. There's a lot of content creators that are talking about this. It's kind of sad that we're at a point where talking about this update and talking about what Hearthstone is doing to their game and the drama that this brings is worth more than the actual content that this is bringing to the floor. I think Fino had a great tweet here. Fino's take here is it's pretty funny if you think that for some people the drama from the changes is more/better content than the actual new content from the game, which this has stirred up a lot of emotions in the community. So we'll see how it pans out. Again, I don't play Battlegrounds. This doesn't really affect me besides the Runestones things, and they mentioned that they will have the correct Runestones per paid thing that you want. And we'll see that once it comes out. But for all of you Battlegrounds players out there, which I'm sure there's a lot of you guys, considering it's, again, the biggest game mode, I feel bad for you. Like, this was a game mode that was free, and now it's not. And I apologize. With that, I'm Robert Warshack. Happy whatever the hell day it is, and catch you in the next video.